Today we are going to talk about perspective. So, as we get started into kind of the end part of 2022, it's the 17th today of November. So, we just have a few weeks left. You may have just seen Mercy walk through. Mercy alert. um, that it's important for us to keep perspective on all kinds of things. And so, I went to a conference a lot of years ago when I was first in the realm of sales, and it was the Direct Selling Institute or Women's Direct Sales Association. I can't remember. Anyway, I went to that conference. I had such a great time. I learned so much. I got to actually meet and talk to Mark Victor Hansen, who is the other part of the Chicken Soup for the Soul, and he was the keynote speaker and talked about how you should create something once and then use it 1,000 times. And how many times have I thought, Donna, why don't you just do things more simple? But that was an important event for me on so many realms. It was the first kind of professional conference I'd been to outside of what my company offered, and went there to learn with people from all different kind of backgrounds to understand the life of being an entrepreneur, which I had not really understood before. I just thought it was something you did, and realized it's actually a profession, not just something we do on the side. And one of the speakers, one of the trainers, talked about seeing life through a red lens. And believe it or not, I still have my red glasses. And so she had all of us put these red glasses on. Doesn't that look crazy? Like a 3D movie. Put these red glasses on and to look around the room and how everything just kind of blends and blurs into one color. And so our perspective becomes very narrowed and very focused because we just see red. Everything turns red. Blacks are blacker. Everything else is red. And so when you're thinking about the perspective that you're looking at with life, you have an opportunity then to choose your perspective, either narrow and focused and pinpointed in a particular direction, or, wow, that feels weird, wide open to everyone's input and what they have to say and what they want to tell you. Now, this is where this is important, because you get to choose the perspective that you come from in every single day. I do too. In fact, this morning, as I was journaling and writing, and I just was feeling kind of blah, but I was able to talk to myself about, this isn't the way you want to carry on your day. I could have, you can, in those moments when everything feels blah and dark and a little bit depressing, you can choose to nurture that thing, or you can choose to say, no, this is not how I'm going to go through the rest of my day. I'm going to choose a different perspective. One of my favorite stories about this comes from the book of Acts, after Paul, who had, do you know the story of Paul and everything he went through in the Bible? But it talks about in the book of Acts where he had been taken prisoner. His life was in danger from the religious leaders of the day. He appealed to Caesar, so he's on his way to Rome to go to Caesar, even after years incarcerated. And they had said, if you hadn't appealed to Caesar, we'd just let you go. But since you appealed to Caesar, we're going to send you. So off he went. And even though he had incredible favor and blessing on that trip, one thing after another happened. And so they're on this ship, and they're shipwrecked, and they make it to shore, and he puts his hand into the wood, and a viper comes out and grabs his arm, and it says that all of the people decided, oh, he must be a murderer, and since, the gods would not let him get by with being saved from the sea, so now they're going to kill him. But he just shook that serpent off, and they watched him and then realized that there was something powerful about who he was, and he began to talk to them about the God of heaven and earth. Now, listen, we all have bad things that happen, right? And they can really pile on us through the day, through the week, through the month, through the year. And we can begin to think that, life is just going to be bad and we're just going to be depressed and we're going to be sad. Things are going to be hard. And that's just the way life is. And, sometimes we're in seasons like that where it feels like everything is being pulled up and the ground is rocky and everything we try to do is too hard. But we can be like Paul and shake off that thing, shake that serpenty thing off, and decide to have a perspective that says, it doesn't matter what's going on around me. The God that's in me is greater than all of that that's going on around me. And choose to understand that the life that we live is full of purpose and power and meaning. Everything that we go through has a greater purpose. Everything that we learn has a greater opportunity to be used in the world. It's all about our perspective. And so we can either let all the noise of the world tell us how we should look at things, or we can put on our red rosy glasses and say, instead, I'm going to choose to live my life based on who God says I am, what God says I have, and the purpose that God says I have in my life. As an ambitious woman, I'll say it, I'll raise my hand here, as a woman who is filled with hopes and dreams and visions and goals, I know that comes to me from the presence of God within me. And we've talked about this a lot, that God has a big plan for the earth. He didn't think small. He thought from the end to the beginning. And in that plan and in that purpose, you were placed in this season of time, in the place where you live, for exactly this season. So no matter what you're going through, and no matter what you're experiencing, whether it be the highest heights or the deepest lows, there is purpose and meaning in that. And I pray that your perspective can be shifted a bit so that you can say, Lord, I don't know what all of this means. I don't know how all of this is going to work out, but I choose to be a person of hope. I choose to be a prisoner of hope, as it says in Zephaniah. Return to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope. I choose to be a woman who is filled with optimism and hope and joy, that no matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm experiencing, there is a power of life within me by the Holy Spirit that helps me to think bigger, to do better, and to continue to achieve what God has for me. I hope that this has been an encouragement to you today. I encourage you to check out all of the different videos that I've had here. I've been giving myself a challenge to be live streaming every business day of the month of November. So you can go back and look over those. Some of those have, I just appreciate everyone who has watched those. If you're watching this again, please let me know that you're watching it. If it's on replay, be sure and give me a thumbs up and a hashtag replay and let me know that. Share it with your friends that you believe that could use some encouragement around the whole prospect of perspective. And join me at my website, donnawoolam.com. If you haven't claimed your complimentary coaching call, be sure and do that today. My calendar gets full in a hurry, so we want to make sure that you're able to have the spot that you want. And remember that the God of hope is on your side. If God is for you, then who can be against you? So choose today to live at your best. Bye.